went to the wrap party, that this was it for the Andy Griffith Show.
For 50 years, Ron Howard seemed perfect. The red-headed kid from Mayberry who became one of Hollywood's most respected filmmakers. He was America's safe bet, polite, talented, humble. But this year, everything changed. In a new interview, Ron revealed the secret he's carried for decades, the devastating choice he made in 1991, the family member he almost lost to addiction, and the truth about what really happened during the months he disappeared from public life. The confession shocked everyone, because if you grew up watching him, the boy next door who became a director of legends, you'd never expect the pain behind that gentle smile. Ronald William Howard was born on March 1, 1954, in Duncan, Oklahoma. From the start, he was surrounded by lights, lines, and cameras. His father, Rance Howard, was an actor who'd adopted his stage name back in 1948. His mother, Jean, was a trained actress, too. Acting wasn't a dream in their family. It was the family business. By the time Ron was 18 months old, he was already in front of the camera. His first appearance was in a Western called Frontier Woman. Most toddlers learned to walk. Ron learned to hit his mark. When television started moving west, the Howards packed everything and drove to California. They weren't chasing fame. Rance just wanted proximity to the new heart of the TV industry. The gamble worked. Soon, both father and son were working actors. Rance took every small part he could find, over 140 films and nearly 200 TV shows, just to keep food on the table and his son's dream alive. Then, in October 1960, everything changed. Ron was 6 when the Andy Griffith Show aired its first episode. America met little Opie Taylor, the kind, freckled boy who called Sheriff Andy his pa. That role defined Ron's childhood. But what most people never knew was how much of that father-son warmth came from real life. His dad, Rance, wasn't just waiting off camera, he was shaping the show itself. After one of the first table reads, Rance told the producers that the scripts didn't feel real. He said the father-son moments needed truth, not sitcom smiles. Andy Griffith listened. From then on, Andy and Opie's bond mirrored Rance and Ron's. That handshake between two fathers, one real, one on TV, created one of the most loved relationships in American television. But being a child star wasn't easy. Ron later called it a golden cage. While kids his age were riding bikes and playing baseball, he was on a soundstage learning to act like a kid who still had a childhood. His classroom was a trailer beside the set. California law required 3 hours of schooling a day, but he rarely had classmates. He did his math while the grips moved cameras. Lunch was eaten beside Andy Griffith or Don Knotts instead of school friends. They all tried to make it feel normal, but it never really was. When he filmed The Music Man in 1962, he was just 8. He was shy, tone-deaf, terrified of singing. During rehearsals, he whispered to co-star Shirley Jones, "I can't do it." She helped calm him down. They shot his scenes from the knees up to hide his awkward dancing. The audience never noticed. The world saw a confident boy singing. What they didn't see was a scared child holding it together under the lights. As he grew, the line between real life and television blurred. For 8 seasons, America watched Opie grow up. But when the Andy Griffith Show ended in 1968, Ron was just 14, and he had no idea who he was without a camera. He tried normal high school life, joined sports, made friends. But fame followed him everywhere. Teachers gave him special treatment. Students asked for autographs. Even after the Monroes and small guest roles, he wanted one thing: control. By 1974, he found it. Happy Days. At 19, Ron became Richie Cunningham, the wholesome teenager in the red sweater who balanced out the swagger of the Fonz. America loved him all over again. But behind the laughter, Ron was suffocating. He'd been playing a boy his whole life, and now he was a man trapped in a teenager's role. By season 5, he started writing memos to the studio, asking for episodes about real issues: Vietnam, growing up, responsibility. ABC said no. Too controversial. Too risky. So, Richie stayed cheerful while the world around him burned. That frustration sparked something. Ron didn't want to just act anymore, he wanted to create. He wanted control of the story. In 1977, he made a bold move. He convinced legendary producer Roger Corman to let him direct a movie in exchange for starring in Eat My Dust. Corman agreed. The result was Grand Theft Auto, written by Ron and his father, filmed on a shoestring budget of $600,000. It made $15 million. Just like that, the kid from Mayberry became one of Hollywood's youngest directors. But fame came with guilt. While Ron's career soared, his younger brother Clint, another child actor, spiraled into addiction. Hollywood had eaten him alive. By 1990, he was at rock bottom, deep into cocaine and alcohol. Ron gave him an ultimatum: get clean or lose me. Clint chose rehab. He later said Ron saved his life. But Ron carried that guilt for decades. Then came 1991, the year that nearly broke him. His wife, Nancy, had just given birth to their fourth child, Jocelyn. They'd already built 16 years of marriage on love, trust, and a strict rule: no work talk at dinner. But that year, Ron took on the biggest project of his life. Far and Away, filmed entirely in Ireland. It was supposed to be a career-defining moment. Instead, it tore him apart. For 6 months, he was gone. Across an ocean, away from his newborn, away from his wife. When he came back, Jocelyn didn't recognize him. Bryce barely remembered him. Nancy had been parenting alone. Ron said it was the moment he realized success meant nothing if you couldn't recognize your own children. He promised he'd never take another long overseas job again. For years, he kept that promise. But in 2005, he broke it for Cinderella Man, and the guilt came rushing back. Still, the work was relentless. From Splash to Apollo 13, from A Beautiful Mind to the Da Vinci Code, Ron built an empire. His production company, Imagine Entertainment, co-founded with Brian Grazer, became one of the most successful studios in Hollywood history. Over 50 films, nearly 300 Emmy nominations, billions in box office. But behind those numbers, his body and mind were cracking. During the filming of Apollo 13, he worked 18-hour days for 90 straight days. The pressure, the heat, the obsession with detail, it pushed him past the limit. On day 90, he collapsed from dehydration and exhaustion. Production stopped for a full day while he was treated. He laughed it off later, but everyone knew. That moment was real. Ron had built his success by never saying no. But his body had finally said it for him. Then came A Beautiful Mind, the film that would win him the Oscar for Best Director in 2002 and reopen every wound he'd been hiding. It was the story of a man who lived in two realities, torn between brilliance and pain. For Ron, that hit too close. He later admitted that the film's themes mirrored his own fear, that he'd built a perfect-looking life that didn't always feel real. The movie won 4 Oscars, but Ron's health and his family were paying the price. After Frost/Nixon in 2008, the world saw Ron as unstoppable. But then tragedy hit. His father, Rance, his lifelong mentor and the man who had given him everything, passed away in 2017 at 89. Ron was devastated. He said it felt like losing the compass that guided every decision he ever made. He went quiet for months. Friends said he barely spoke. When he returned, something in him had changed. He started talking openly about mistakes, the roles he regretted, the family time he'd missed, the toll of trying to be perfect. He said, "I built a life that looked right from the outside. But there were nights I'd sit in my office and realize I didn't remember what my daughter's laugh sounded like." In 2020, he directed Hillbilly Elegy. Critics hated it. Some even nominated him for a Razzie. But Ron didn't care. He said it was a story about broken families trying to heal, and that was enough for him. That same year, he made Rebuilding Paradise, a documentary about the 2018 wildfire that destroyed the town of Paradise, California, the same town where his mother-in-law once lived. He spent months in the ashes interviewing survivors. He said it broke him emotionally. "There were moments," he said, "I couldn't speak behind the camera." Then came 2025, 50 years of marriage, 50 years of silence, success, mistakes, and love. He sat down for a quiet anniversary interview and said something few directors ever admit. "I'm proud of my work. But I'm still haunted by the things I missed. He talked about Clint, how addiction almost took him away. He talked about those lost months in Ireland, the ones he could never get back. And he talked about the price of perfection, how trying to please everyone made him lose himself more than once. Now, at 71, Ron Howard doesn't chase fame. He mentors young directors. He teaches storytelling at workshops. He walks into studios with no entourage, just a notebook.